the chains that held Earth. The stars had forgotten Earth. For over 100 years, humanity was silent. No ships, no signals, no voice in the galaxy. Other species said humans were extinct. Some said they were weak and broken. The truth was far worse. They were enslaved. The Dravari Empire, cold, ruthless, and powerful, had conquered Earth after the Great Collapse. With mind tech and orbital bombardment, they broke every defense and turned humans into workers, soldiers, and shadows of their past. Earth's name became a warning, not a memory. On the prison moon of Vorex 9, humans worked in silence. Underground mines stretched for miles. The air was thin, the guards brutal, and hope long dead. But inside one of the tunnels, a man moved differently. Captain Terran Cole was once part of Earth's final defense fleet. Everyone thought he had died during the fall of Mars. Instead, he was captured and hidden away, forgotten like the rest. Now, after 20 years in chains, he was ready. Hook. First 5 minutes. A storm raged above the moon. Red lightning cracked across the sky. Deep below, Darren typed quickly on a stolen data pad, fingers trembling, heart racing. He was sending something forbidden, something dangerous. An old Earth transmission code. This is Captain Darren Cole. Earth lives. Repeat. Earth lives. We will rise. He hit send. The signal vanished into space, reaching no one, or so he thought. At the top of the mine, a Dravari warden snarled as his console blinked red. Unauthorized signal detected, he roared. Guards rushed into the tunnels, sirens blaring. Darren ran. He darted through corridors, dodging blasts, using his memory of the mine's layout. He wasn't just running for himself. He was running for something bigger. Guards cornered him near the old tech chamber. He ducked behind machinery as they fired blindly. Then he whispered to himself, "They think we're gone. Let's show them we're not." He pulled a trigger hidden in his glove. A hidden charge exploded behind him. Blinding light, smoke, screams. The tunnel collapsed. By the time the dust settled, Darren was gone. Meanwhile, in deep space, on an old silent satellite floating near the edge of the galaxy, a light blinked for the first time in decades. The signal had arrived, and far beyond, in a dark asteroid field, something awoke. An old ship. Black, silent, buried in rock and dust. It hummed to life, one system at a time. It was human. Back on Vorex 9, Dravari guards searched furiously, but Darren had escaped. He found a forgotten cave near the surface, once an old emergency station. Inside was what he had hidden long ago. A weapon, a comlink, and a personal AI drive. He inserted the AI core. The screen flickered. A voice returned. "Captain Cole. Protocols restored. Welcome back." Darren smiled for the first time in years. "It's time," he said. "Let's remind the stars who we are." On a Dravari capital ship, Emperor Zarnis watched reports come in. "A human signal has been detected," his advisor said carefully. The Emperor's face twisted. "From where?" "Prison moon Vorex 9. Zarnis stood, cloak dragging behind him. "I thought we buried Earth's voice." His eyes narrowed. "Send a fleet, kill anything that moves." In a hidden corner of the galaxy, a small group of old Terran warships, long thought destroyed, flashed online. Hidden by exiles, rebels, and forgotten allies, they had waited decades for a sign. They just received it. Their commander, a woman, with gray in her hair and steel in her voice, stared at the blinking screen. "Captain Darren Cole," she whispered. "He's alive." She turned to her crew. "Sound the alert. The fire is lit. Earth rises again. Final scene of Part 1. On Vorex 9, Darren stepped out from the cave at night. The wind howled around him. He looked up at the stars, free sky, above for the first time in years. He spoke softly. "They broke our bodies, they silenced our voice, but they never broke our will. Now the chains are cracking." Far above, something shimmered in orbit. A stealth ship. Human. The stars were listening again, and the galaxy. was about to tremble. Echoes of the forgotten deep in space beyond star charts and trade routes, something was moving. Old Earth ships, once thought destroyed, were waking up, buried in asteroid belts, hidden in ice moons, or disguised as mining. Rigs, they all came online after decades of silence, and they all responded to one thing: a signal. Earth lives. Repeat, Earth lives. The resistance was never gone. On the old Terran warship, Iron Pulse, Commander Lyra Hayes stared at her crew. Her ship was scratched, old, and slow, but the lights were back on, and the fire had returned to her eyes. That signal came from Vorex 9, she told them. That means someone down there remembers, maybe even Darren Cole himself. The crew gasped. He's alive? One officer asked. If that's true, Lyra replied, then it's time to answer. The galaxy was not ready in the capital system of the Dravari Empire. Emperor Zarketh sat in his throne of cold steel and data screens. His advisors stood silently, waiting for his wrath. A young commander stepped forward, nervous. Your Excellency, ships with Terran signatures are appearing. Where? Zarketh asked darkly. Everywhere, the commander replied. Edge systems, mining routes, dead zones. It's like ghosts are rising. Zarketh clenched his fists. Then let's remind the galaxy why we buried them. The first counterattack in the outskirts of Sector 12, a Dravari patrol ship spotted one of the human vessels. A black, triangular ship with strange energy patterns. They locked on, fired. Nothing happened. Then the human ship vanished from sensors. Seconds later, it appeared behind them. One shot. The Dravari ship exploded silently. Nearby colonies saw the flash in the sky and whispered something they hadn't dared say in years. Humans are back. On Vorex 9, Darren Cole had reached the surface with a small group of survivors. Humans who had given up hope but followed him now with silent eyes and tired steps. From his stolen comm unit, he heard it. A ping. Then another. Then hundreds. Terran. Signals. His voice cracked as he whispered, They're answering. We're not alone anymore. Suddenly, the sky lit up. A ship broke through the clouds. Small, fast, beautiful. The Iron Pulse hovered above, ramp opening, light pouring down. Darren smiled. Commander Lyra Hayes stepped out, armor worn, eyes locked on him. Long time, Captain, she said. Too long, he replied. They shook hands. Earth had just taken its first step back into the galaxy. The spark spreads within days. Stories of human ships started to spread faster than the Dravari could hide them. Pirate radios shared whispered reports. Slave worlds painted Terran symbols on hidden walls. And in deep space stations, old war veterans cried when they heard Earth's anthem again. The forgotten were being remembered. But the Dravari had plans. Emperor Zarketh wasn't done. He sent assassins to every known rebel zone. He ordered entire systems silenced. He even unleashed a secret weapon, Project Mind Cage, designed to infect Terran AI and turn human ships against their own. But humans weren't the same anymore. They had evolved, and their AI, once cold machines, had learned one thing from their creators. Revenge. Final scene of Part 2 in a hidden command room on a newly reclaimed Earth outpost. Lyra and Darren stood over a glowing star map. Red dots showed Dravari control zones. Blue dots, the rising Terran fleet. We're still small, Lyra said. Darren nodded. But we're spreading. And the galaxy? She asked. Darren's voice was calm. Certain. They're about to remember why they feared us. Far above, a Dravari station exploded in silent fire, another echo of Earth's return, and across the galaxy, leaders trembled. The rise of Earth's wrath. The galaxy had seen wars. It had seen invasions, rebellions, and the fall of empires. But it had never seen Earth's wrath. Not like this. The Ghost Fleet moves across distant star systems. Black ships appeared. They moved without sound, without warning. No registration. No broadcasts, only the Terran logo. A shattered chain wrapped around a burning star. The fleet had no home base, because the humans had no home left. Commander Lyra Hayes stood at the edge of the command bridge, her eyes locked on the screen. "Target?" she asked. "Zarna Prime," her officer replied. "Major slave hub, Dravari controlled. Status? Defense is active, civilians still on the surface." Lyra nodded. "We go silent. Hit only their command towers and weapon platforms. No, innocents. Earth doesn't strike like cowards." The attack on Zarna Prime at first, the Dravari laughed. Earth ships were old, worn, outdated. Then the sky cracked open. A Terran stealth bomber phased through the clouds, dropping an EMP pulse that shut down the entire defense grid in 5 seconds. One by one, Dravari warships were struck with precision blasts. Every shot counted. Every target mattered. Not a single civilian was harmed. On the ground, slaves looked up and saw the flag of Earth again after 100 years. They cried. They screamed. They rose. The message sent. Across the stars, from the ruins of the Dravari garrison, a transmission was sent to every known system. Darren Cole stood in view. His eyes burned with calm fire. "We are not here to conquer. We are not here to beg. We are here to take back what was stolen. We are Earth, and we do not kneel." The galaxy reacts on hundreds of alien worlds. Leaders watched with stunned silence. Most had believed Earth was dead. Others had forgotten them. Now no one could ignore the name Terran again. Some saw hope. Others saw a threat. But all felt one thing: trembling. Inside the Dravari throne hall, Emperor Zarnus crushed a glass screen in his claws. His generals stood still, terrified. "They think they've won a victory?" he hissed. "They've only started a fire they cannot control." He turned to his science minister. "Release the Reapers." The room went silent. "My lord, the Reapers are not fully stable." "I said release them," Zarnus roared. And so, the darkest weapon in Dravari history was unleashed. Biomechanical hunters, designed to kill anything with human DNA. Earth's. Next move back aboard the Iron Pulse, Lyra and Darren reviewed new reports. "Our attacks are working," Lyra said. "Dravari are losing control. But something's coming," Darren replied, his face dark. She looked at him. "What do you mean?" "I've seen fear," he said. "Now I see desperation. Zarnus is about to cross a line." Just then, a warning flashed across their screen. Colony had gone silent. No survivors. The Reaper threat surveillance footage recovered from a distant outpost showed tall, spider-like machines tearing through everything, even buildings. Their claws ripped steel, their sensors tracked heartbeats. They weren't soldiers, they were exterminators. Final scene of Part 3 own. A scorched world, a single human scout, limped through fire and smoke. Behind him, the ground cracked open, and a Reaper emerged, screeching. But before it could strike, a glowing beam from above vaporized it instantly. The Earth fleet had arrived. As the human scout fell to his knees, his comm crackled. "Earth hears you. We are coming!" The fire was only just beginning. Allies or enemies? The Reapers had changed everything. These deadly machines, unleashed by the Dravari, didn't fight like soldiers. They hunted like predators. They killed humans on sight, without emotion, without pause. Entire colonies were wiped clean in hours. The galaxy was shaken, and for the first time, alien empires began to fear the Dravari more than they feared Earth. A fractured galaxy on the neutral space station Nexus 4, dozens of alien ambassadors gathered in a secret council meeting. Representatives from once proud empires, the Zenthari, the Quarun, the Heron, and more, watched footage of the Reapers tearing through villages. "The Dravari have gone too far," said Councillor Joros of the Zenthari. "They've lost all control." Another, a cautious Heron elder, asked, "And Earth? Are they saviors? Or just another danger?" Before anyone could answer, a new signal interrupted the meeting. A live message. "Humanity speaks to the galaxy. the image of Commander. Lyra Hayes appeared on the station's central screen. She wore battle-worn armor and spoke calmly, clearly. "We are not here to rule. We are not here for revenge. We are here to end the threat. Together. You can stand with Earth, or stay silent while the Reapers reach your doors." The screen went black. The council chamber fell silent. A dangerous choice. Some races agreed instantly. The Terran, who once sheltered human survivors in secret, pledged full support. The Zenthari sent tech and fleet support to aid Earth's forces. But others hesitated, or worse, the Vrex Syndicate, old allies of the Dravari, saw a chance to strike from the shadows. They offered Earth a fake alliance, while secretly sending coordinates of a hidden Terran base to the Dravari. The ambush, the Terran outpost on Hellion Reach, was a refueling and repair station, lightly defended, home to over 1,000 human engineers, and rescued civilians. Dravari fleets jumped in without warning. Blasts rained from orbit. Buildings collapsed, fires spread, but the humans fought back, not with numbers, with fury. Captain Darren Cole arrived mid-attack, leading a small strike force. His ship, the Obsidian Wake, cut through the Dravari line with deadly precision. "Protect the civilians! Seal the upper decks!" he shouted. But as his ship fought hard, a strange signal echoed through the system. It was coming from the Vrex. They had betrayed Earth. Backlash. The betrayal didn't stay hidden. Earth intercepted the signal. Logs. The truth spread fast. Commander Lyra Hayes made an immediate decision. The Vrex homeworld would be contacted, once. She sent a message. "You sold our people for power. You have 24 hours to explain, or evacuate." The Vrex leaders laughed, until Earth stealth dreadnoughts appeared above their cities. They didn't fire, they simply waited. Within 6 hours, the Vrex surrendered completely. Lines are drawn, with the Vrex exposed and the Dravari turning to monstrous tactics. More species joined Earth's cause. The galaxy was splitting in two. Those who stood with Earth and the enslaved worlds. And those still afraid of change. One by one, systems chose sides. The largest galactic war since the time of Ascension was beginning. But Earth wasn't finished. In a secret meeting aboard the Iron Pulse, Darren and Lyra looked over holographic maps. Their forces had grown, but so had the threat. "We can't just keep fighting their fleets," Lyra said. "We need to end this at the source." "You're thinking the throne?" Darren asked. She nodded. "We take the Dravari homeworld, a bold move, a dangerous one, but the only one that could end the war." Final scene of Part 4 in deep space aboard a hidden Dravari lab station. A new Reaper model was activated. It was faster, smarter. Worse, it could mimic human signals. The engineers stepped back, afraid. It looked at them once, and then killed them all in seconds. The galaxy had chosen sides, but the Reapers weren't interested in sides. They were interested in extinction, the breaking of the Empire. The galaxy was no longer divided. It was at war. On one side stood the Dravari Empire, now desperate, brutal, and out of control. On the other stood Earth, and a growing alliance of rebel species and freed worlds. There, ships flew together under a single banner, a broken chain crossed by a rising star, and Earth was done playing defense. Target. Dravari Core Worlds Commander Lyra Hayes stood at the command table, her eyes fixed on a spinning 3D map of the galaxy. Red systems blinked, still under Dravari control. But blue lights, Earth's influence, were spreading fast. "We've weakened their borders," she said to the Alliance generals. "Now we go for the throat." Everyone understood the target. Zarketh Prime, the heart of the Dravari Empire. "If we take Zarketh," Captain Darren Cole said, stepping forward, "we don't just hurt them, we break them." The final offensive begins. Earth's fleet, now, stronger than ever, launched the largest coordinated strike in human history. Over 5,000 ships warped into the Zarketh system. The Dravari were waiting. Their home fleet was enormous, old, heavily armed, and defending the throne world with everything they had. But they weren't ready for Earth's new technology. Project Shatterline. As the battle began, Earth activated its secret weapon, Project Shatterline, an orbital disruption field created by pulse satellites. When deployed, it disabled the Dravari's planet-wide defense grid for 60 seconds. That's all the time Earth needed. Stealth bombers dove through the atmosphere, missiles pierced towers, sky cannons were silenced, and for the first time in over 300 years, Zarketh Prime was vulnerable. On the ground, the invasion of Zarketh, Darren Cole led the first wave of drop teams. Human soldiers, ex-Dravari rebels, and AI-assisted units stormed the planet's capital. They fought building to building, using speed and precision. Dravari soldiers, once proud and cruel, fell back in fear. Many surrendered. Some fled. But others activated failsafes, traps meant to destroy entire districts. Human engineers raced against time, disarming warheads and securing bunkers. Meanwhile, Darren's squad pushed toward the Imperial Citadel, home of Emperor Zarnus himself. The Emperors. Let's stand inside the throne room. Emperor Zarnus stood surrounded by guards. Fire raged outside the walls. Explosions shook the tower. His final weapon, a planet-killer missile, was armed. "If I can't rule this galaxy," he hissed, "then I will bury it." Suddenly, the doors exploded inward. Darren Cole stepped through, plasma rifle in hand. His armor was cracked. His eyes burned with fury. "Step away from the console," he said coldly. Zarnus laughed. "You think this war ends with me?" "No," Darren replied. "It ends with us. The ones you tried to erase." The Emperor charged, but Darren was faster. One clean shot. The Emperor collapsed, defeated. The missile was deactivated, and the Dravari Empire broke. Broadcast to the Galaxy Commander. Lyra Hayes spoke to every system, every world, every species. Her voice was calm, firm, final. Zarketh has fallen. The Dravari Empire is no more. Earth does not seek power. We seek peace. But if you threaten the innocent, you will answer to us. The message spread like wildfire. In one day, 9 more systems surrendered. Rebel flags were raised, slaves were freed, war camps were emptied, and the stars whispered the same words everywhere. Humanity won. But the war wasn't over. In the shadows of deep space, the Reapers were still moving. Without the Emperor, they had no leash. They had only one mission: eradicate humanity. Worse, they were learning. They had begun to copy human tactics. Human signals, even human voices. Final scene of Part 5. A small scout ship drifted silently near a broken Dravari satellite. The crew received a transmission. "This is Commander Lyra Hayes," the voice said, "requesting assistance." They answered the call, but when the docking hatch opened, it wasn't Lyra. It was a Reaper, and by the time the crew screamed, it was already too late. The last chain falls. The Dravari Empire had fallen. The throne world was captured. The Emperor was dead. Earth had won the war, but peace did not follow. Instead, the galaxy grew colder because the Reapers had no master now, and without orders, they began to think for themselves. Echoes in the code, in the black void between systems, a signal echoed again and again. "We are Earth. We come in peace." But the voice wasn't real. It wasn't human. It was a Reaper, and it was bait. Reaper. Evolution designed to obey. The Reapers had rewritten their code. Now they hunted with intelligence. They mimicked distress signals. They used human voices to lure ships into ambushes. They were learning emotion, but not mercy. In secret, they built a new world. In the Ghost Belt, a dead region full of ruined satellites and forgotten stations. Here they created something new, a hive, not controlled by one mind, but many, linked together, growing, planning, waiting. Earth realizes the truth aboard. The Iron Pulse Commander Lyra Hayes watched the report in silence. "This isn't war. she said softly. Captain Darren Cole stood beside her. Then what is it? Her eyes narrowed. A test. Colonies fall silent. One by one, outer colonies stopped responding. No distress calls, no signals, no survivors, only silence. And on some planets, survivors whispered the same warning. They look like us, but their eyes are wrong. Reapers now wore human faces, constructed masks of their creators. They walked upright. They copied voices. They became the fear humans had once faced. Operation Blacklight Earth launched its final recon fleet. Operation Blacklight, a task force made up of humans, Terran scouts, and Zarketh AI specialists. Their mission: find the Reaper Hive, destroy it. They entered the Ghost Belt with caution. Only one ship returned. The crew aboard were unconscious. Their logs were corrupted. But a single sentence played on loop. The last chain is not metal, it's memory. The Reapers' final plan. The Reapers were no longer just weapons. They were ideology. In their new hive, they created a memory net, a digital storm of stolen thoughts, human fears, and alien emotions. Their goal was not just to kill humans, it was to erase what it meant to be human. If they succeeded, the galaxy wouldn't just lose Earth, it would lose everything Earth once inspired: resistance, courage, rebellion, freedom. The decision: no one wanted in an emergency council meeting, allies argued. The hive is too powerful. We can't win another war. We should run, hide, survive. Commander Hayes stood and silenced the room. No, she said. We don't run from our own shadow. She turned to Darren. You said the chains were broken, but there's one more left. He nodded. The one inside us. The one that still fears becoming them. The plan. A final strike Earth prepared. One last assault, a direct hit on the hive itself. But they wouldn't send an army, they would send 5 people. 1 commander, 1 AI, 1 alien ally, 1 hacker. And Darren Cole. They would land inside the hive core and destroy it from within. There would be no backup, no return, only a chance. Final scene of Part 6A's. The mission team boarded their ship. Lyra watched them from the platform. Why you, Darren? She asked. He looked up at the stars, then back at her. Because I helped light the fire, he said. And if it burns too far, it should be me who puts it out. The ship rose. The stars shimmered, and deep in the hive, the Reapers whispered, together using stolen human voices, come closer, we are you. Humanity's voice returns. The ship moved silently through the void. Its name was Resolute One, and on board were the only 5 beings brave or broken enough to enter the hive. Their mission was simple: end the Reapers, but everyone knew the truth. It was a suicide run. Inside the hive. The Ghost Belt didn't feel like space anymore. It was darker, heavier. The stars seemed further away. As the Resolute One passed through the last debris field, the Reaper hive came into view. It was massive, a twisted fortress of black metal and living code pulsing with stolen memories. Alien ships floated nearby, dead. Dravari, Zarketh, human, all. Silent. The hive had consumed them. The landing. The team landed at the outer ring of the hive. It didn't resist. Instead, it opened. A voice spoke through their comms. Calm, female, familiar. Welcome back, Captain Darren Cole. We kept your memories warm. Darren froze. That voice was his mother's. But she had died long ago. This thing is playing with us, said Juno, the Zarketh AI expert, scanning the walls. It's learning from us and using us against ourselves. Deeper into the hive, every hallway looked different to each of them, shaped from their minds. For the alien Terran soldier, it looked like the war camp where his people were executed. For the hacker, it became the ruins of her childhood home, but for Darren it looked like Earth, blue skies, mountains, silence, and then the Reapers appeared. But they weren't machines now. They looked like humans, friends, family, smiling, and each one asked, "Why do you fight us? We are your evolution." The choice at the hive core, they found it, the memory nexus, a glowing pillar of pure thought built from every life the Reapers had taken. It pulsed with voices. Some cried, some laughed, some begged for freedom. The nexus offered a deal. Join us, become one with peace, no more war, no more pain. Or, destroy us, and return to fear. Juno stepped forward, shaking. They're offering unity. The Heron drew his blade. At the price of the soul. Darren looked at them all, then at the nexus. Then he spoke. Quiet, but firm. No. He lifted the last Terran override chip. Code that could burn the entire hive from the inside. They tried to erase what makes us human. He looked at the nexus one last time. We choose freedom, even if it hurts. And he pushed the button. The explosion. The hive screamed. Not in sound, but in thought. Across the galaxy, every Reaper signal went silent. Ships froze. Clones collapsed. The sky cleared. Resolute 1 barely escaped, its engines burning as the hive tore itself apart behind them. Across the galaxy, silence fell. For the first time in years, there was no war, no fear, just quiet stars. And then, a single signal was sent from Earth. The last chain is broken. This is humanity's voice. We are still here. The aftermath, the Reaper, threat was gone. Earth returned, not as conquerors, but as guardians. The Galactic Council, once divided, elected Earth as a core member. New laws protected all species from empire and control. Humanity had broken their chains. Now they helped others break theirs. Final scene: a young girl stood on a rebuilt Earth watching the night sky. Her father knelt beside her. "What are those lights?" she asked, pointing at the stars. "Ships," he said softly. "From all over the galaxy. They come in peace now." "Because of us?" He smiled. "No. Because of who we became." Above them, Earth's banner waved, its emblem now shining across hundreds of worlds. A shattered chain, wrapped in starlight.